very good. Very good, very nice. Very nice, very good. That's like the funniest thing on TikTok. There it is. I keep looking up as the light is supposed to like switch on. What's good? What's going on, beautiful people? What's propping? What the fuck? No? No. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. Ooh. All right, my skin's not on fleek, nor am I too sexy for my clothes today. What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome to the Kasabian Lavoe show. Welcome to the show that never ends, the show that nobody watches, and it's like mad things that this show's about. But what's good? What's going on? You're ready to get into today's topics. We got some goodies. Omicron update. The Grammys are here in Las Vegas. Microsoft did some things. Cardi B's doing some good for the community. And y'all heard about them idiots, them cops I was playing Pokemon Go? We'll talk about that. But what's going on? What's going on? Everybody settled in. If this is your first time here, we appreciate you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, head over to Facebook, go to the follow page or the like page, hit follow, hit like, check out the reels, head over to klavo.com, the merch, the music, TikTok, Kasabian Lavoe. Nothing changes. Check it out. If this is your first time, that's the rundown. If you've been here before, sit down. You know what the fridge is, you know what the water is. Get comfortable and let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. So we're recording for the podcast, so you might not hear the music. But if you want to hear the music, you head over to Apple Podcasts tomorrow and Spotify tomorrow, and you get to hear the music and you get to enjoy the podcast version of the show. So with that being said, let's get into the show. We're using Shaka Khan because if there was any song I could buy for the show, like permanently purchase, it would be this one because this song is phenomenal. Ain't Nobody by Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. I'll be on TikTok, and that little guy that goes, very good, very nice, very good. I want to get him to do an intro for the show. And if y'all don't know what that is, y'all better go find it because he's fucking hilarious. It ain't your first. All right. I see what we're doing today. Powered by Donuts. Go nuts for donuts. Can y'all want to hear it? Ain't nobody do me better. Ooh. Yeah. I love it. I can't wait till when we get in the metaverse and we all get to get them together and do the show in the metaverse. It's game changer, baby. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's Kasabian Lavoe 1. What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe show. And that was a terrible fade out. I'll be your host, Kasabian, live from Las Vegas. Welcome to the show that nobody watches, but I'll be your host behind this microphone with talent on loan from God. My mentor used to say that. And he was so smooth with it, but I added that it's the show that nobody watches. I like saying that. It just makes me feel better because I could give a shit. It's better to aim low. Don't aim high. Aim low, aim low. What's good? It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Some call it hump day. I don't really care for hump day. It's been a long week. Feels like it's been a long year. There's a lot going on in the country. There's a lot of things that are happening that I honestly don't feel like really touching on. Pause. But there's a lot of things that I think are a little positive and a little more positive than what we've been talking about. So I'm going to give you guys an Omicron update. The Grammys are here in Las Vegas, but because of COVID and Omicron, that date's being pushed. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. If you don't know, there's some nerd talk coming. Some cops in LA were playing Pokemon Go, and some young lady was stabbed to death at her job, and they were too busy looking for Snorlax. I want y'all opinion on that one. And then we'll talk about shit that I see on TikTok. This is like part 2, I guess, officially part 2 of things that I see on TikTok, because we talked about the Honga Tonga eruption last week, and now the conspiracy theorists have come out to say that, well, It might not be the volcano. It's actually a nuke bomb that we dropped on a black goop. I've never heard of the black goop. I think it's amazing that there's a black goop. We're gonna talk about Cardi B. She is. I'm not sure if she's done it. If it's a pledge, if it's a fact. But Cardi B is doing some good for the community. The country's doing so bad that we are now allowing 18-year-olds to drive semis. I really don't have a problem with that. I would love to get into this some more. And 5G is here. Again, it's a very conspiracy theorial show, but I didn't want to use that in the title because they'll ban it. They'll just shadow ban it. But there's a lot of 5G conspiracies. There's a lot of conspiracies behind this new. Well, I can't say a lot because it just seems like everybody's repeating the same thing. Because one guy put out a video where he sees a speck, like right before it goes boom under the water. There's like a white dot. According to him, it's a nuke, and he's got all the nerds with him. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. So Omicron, if you've been paying attention, in South Africa, when it was discovered, at least reported to the world, not necessarily discovered, because it might have been around for a little bit longer than what we thought. Omicron was told to us that it seemed to be mild, and it wouldn't last long, and it was highly contagious, what was the proper terminology for when it's highly contagious? Viral. Okay. Nonetheless, it was easy to catch, but it was weaker, and it showed signs of the end of the pandemic, because when viruses mutate, they usually mutate out into some form or fashion this way, where you don't necessarily need medicine. You'll kind of catch a version of it. Your body will make antibodies and you'll be safe. Well, South America took about 2 months after they reported it to the world. Everything slowed down and got better. But Dr. Fauci had everybody thinking that we need to be locked inside of the house, never move again, put 10 masks on and hide under the bed. And he was full of shit. Omicron is almost done. Cases are going down. It obviously hit the East Coast first. There's more people on the East Coast. It's colder on the East Coast. So the East Coast saw a majority of the numbers in the spike, but they are now seeing the biggest decline, meaning that it'll go across the country and around the world. And hopefully this is the end of it. We don't know. I'm not a doctor. Find a doctor. But this is a good thing. The fear porn, the fear mongering, the fear everything has to stop, y'all. It's not as bad as they make it seem. And I think we're all pretty much fed the fuck up. Like, they just stand up there and make up lies to scare everybody and tell you to sit down and just not do nothing. And the whole entire world is looking at us like, what are y'all talking about? What are you talking about? Like, you can't even travel without having to go through 13 hoops of just all types of red tape. And they don't even know what they're doing here. We are in dismay in this country. It honestly is terrifying. So the Grammys are coming to Vegas. And due to Omicron and other COVID restrictions and whatnot, it's being pushed to April 3rd. It's pretty dope that we get the Grammys. I don't think we've ever had a Grammy show this size here. It's going to be at MGM. That's a beautiful, beautiful arena. If y'all haven't seen the MGM Garden at its full, what is it? What would it be called? Damn, I'm drawing a blank for words. I'm having a brain fart right now. I can't even think of the right sophisticated words. Do you know who I wanted to have a word off with or just a conversation with? Maybe I shouldn't say it. I just won't say it. Never mind. But there is somebody that I have in mind. I would love to chop his ass up. Yeah, MGM Garden Arena will be having the Grammys here in Las Vegas on the 3rd. But again, it was pushed back due to COVID. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. Basically, Call of Duty, Minecraft, what is it? Are they doing the other game too? Either way, Microsoft spent $96 billion cash. No stock options, no bullshit. Just straight up, here's all the money. Give us the game. What you're seeing with Microsoft is them pushing to buy the games that most people use. Like, Facebook fucked up by using the name metaverse. It was already called that. They had the audacity to take a common terminology. It's like, imagine when people say, hey, Google that. Like, I'm going to Google it. Yo, just Google that. And Google basically means look it up, right? Metaverse was already a word. Metaverse has been a thing. And if you play video games, you've been in the metaverse. So the idea that Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard to acquire their giant communities is pretty spectacular, right? There's fucking millions of people that play Call of Duty. That is a world in its own. That's what the metaverse is going to be. These are different places where people can actually interact with one another and come together and have real communities because the technology has finally brought it there. Microsoft is doing the right thing. And hopefully, and I'm just going to say hopefully, they're able to provide better game experiences for everyone. And they're able to provide. I feel like my biggest problem right now with the game situation is that you have hackers that fuck it up for a lot of people to just leisurely playing. And then most of these games honestly aren't for leisure. Like you have to put in time and work to honestly have a good time. So when you're playing and you don't play often and you have to deal with the hackers and deal with these just I mean it's you get shot out the fucking sky. I know this is nerd talk. A lot of people don't really care, but it's very frustrating for like me who doesn't play often that wants to get on and has to be in a lobby full of hackers and shit, which doesn't necessarily bother. It's still a fun game, but it would be funner, if that's even a word, if you could have just more balance. I think balance would be key. And listen to the people. This past year, Activision, it's just like who did the Division? That was Unisoft. Unisoft did the Division. The Division was amazing. Then Division 2, trash. They could never figure it out. They fucked it all up. The Division was basically coronavirus. Like it literally predicted it. They call it the dollar flu because it started during Black Friday and everybody that touched money spread it. So it was called the dollar flu. I mean, it was COVID. Again, they ruined that game. That could have been something amazing. And now with the Unreal Engine, with the Unreal Engine, you're going to be able to play the Division the way it was supposed to be played, the way that we were told it was going to be played. And hopefully they could bring that game back and then, start to do new shit. Let's see what else, what VR could really bring. I think this is awesome that Microsoft is doing that. And for that amount of money, man, that's globally affecting things. I know PlayStation's got to feel some type of way. I wonder how that's going to work with PlayStation and PC. But Microsoft makes Xbox and PC, so maybe not necessarily PC, but PlayStation. Huh. The year 2022 will go down as like the cowardice year in crimes. A young lady in New York was killed at her job because there was only $100 in the till. She was 19. She was shot working a graveyard shift. A young lady, was a story about a 16-year-old and her dad set up a fucking a botched robbery. It just her dad and her set up the robbery and it went wrong. The little girl got killed. LA County, a homeless dude runs into a fucking furniture store and stabs a lady. And these two cops are playing Pokemon Go. They get paid because of tax money revenue. Like the police department doesn't make products. Do you understand that if you work in a place that doesn't sell shit, you're getting paid by the people? When these two dickheads are driving around fucking LA looking for Snorlax and that lady's getting stabbed and killed by the homeless dude, I don't know, bro. Maybe somebody should reevaluate how the fuck we hire these guys. Maybe come up with a better plan on hiring these people. What do you mean you were doing Don't we have cameras and GPS on these guys? Hey, dickhead. What are you doing in the middle of wherever the fuck you are? Oh, no, Captain, I saw a fucking Pokemon. Bring your ass to the office right now. I want your badge and your gun. Get the fuck out of here. Go work at Walmart, pussy. You want to go look for Pokemon? Go look for Pokemon on your own time. You're a police officer. You're supposed to be upper echelon. You hold the law. You make sure that people abide by the law. You are here to protect and serve us, the people. Not fuck around looking for Pokemon, yo. That's irritating. That's how I feel. The idea that these guys were going around looking for Pokemon, and then they said, nah, it's not a game. We just take pictures of them. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who even allowed these idiots to have phones? How about no more phones for police officers? How about y'all have to use like the car phone? When you're at work, you should have to use a car phone line that's in the squad car that's recorded. Because you're at work. You shouldn't have a personal phone on you, ever. You don't need no personal phone. You got a laptop right in front of you. You got a motherfucking phone right there. You can send a message, and that message should be seen by everybody in the department, so watch your mouth. That's just how I feel about it. Do your job, but you got to catch them all. Sit your ass down. Hey, man, innocent people getting hurt behind catching them all. They did a great job. They got a Snorlax. Way to go. Okay. Let's get into my first conspiracy for today, and I think it's a good one. There's this guy that's basically saying, and this is on TikTok. This is shit I see on TikTok. It's a segment now. This is part two, I think. Or I guess we'll call it part two. I don't think I've had another one. I think I did the magnet guy and probably some other shit. But check this out. The Honga Tonga eruption was under the ocean, right? But it sounded like a bomb going off. And I said, wow, that's weird. I've never heard an eruption sound like that. But what do I know, right? Like, I'm not no goddamn fucking eruptologist or fucking volcanologist or volcanolist or volcano. Nope, that's it. Volcanolist was pretty much the only one I had. I'm not none of that. I don't know shit. I've never seen a volcano explode. Have you? Like, who's had the pleasure of just sitting around going, I wonder when that's gonna, look at that, it went off. Never. It's not a thing. Like, we just, not, and we didn't have cell phones with cameras back in the day either, so when shit like this did happen, there was no evidence of it. There's a video of a couple of guys standing on the beach by the explosion, and it sounded like a boom. Like, it didn't, I don't know what a volcano sounds like, so it's hard for me to say there's some type of malice behind this or there's something wrong. I mean, if you've ever heard a volcano erupt, just off rips, boom, like, what does it sound like? I've always seen it's like a slow dribble. I've never seen, I don't know, maybe it was the pressure of the ocean and the heat with the water causing the steam, and it was like an explosion because of steam. I don't know. I'm not a geologist. That's the fucking word, geologist. I'm not a geologist, nor am I a chemist, and I don't understand how magma and fucking water react. But my son lives in Hawaii, so with that being said, I am a geologist, and I'm glad you guys are here. So, looking at the video from NASA, when you see it explode, I mean, it pretty much mushrooms out and goes up. The guy slows it down. There's a white speck. It's an itty bitty little white speck. And he goes, right there, you see that speck? And then, like, milliseconds after that white speck appears, it explodes. According to him, it's a nuke bomb. And what we're doing is fighting aliens under the ocean. According to him, there's some shit called the black goo. It's under the ocean. I don't understand what the black goo is. But we've been at a war with under the ocean aliens for quite some time, according to these people. And this was not a volcano. This was a nuke bomb. A couple weeks ago, he said North Korea dropped a nuke in the ocean. They were testing. They're not testing, according to him. According to him, they're just out here fighting all types of underwater aliens. And I think that shit is amazing. He sat there broke. He's like, look, right there and there and there. It blows up. It might be real. It might have been a bomb. I don't know. The guys that were standing on the beach, it was kind of suspect, but never heard a volcano go off. So I can't even give you a real opinion because I don't know. If you are a geologist or you happen to know how volcanoes sound when they go off, please let me know. I mean, besides movies and shit, I don't know. Do I think that conspiracy is real with the black goo? Fucking, I don't know. Is there black goo in the ocean? Is that from like BP? Is that a thing? Hey, y'all remember when BP ruined the ocean? Forgot about that shit, didn't we? All right, let's get to today's stories. Just a few of them, but they're a little long. Pause. This one about Cardi B is interesting, and I have nothing negative to say. There's a lot of things going on with Cardi B right now legally. I'm not even going to involve myself in any of that. What's the way to word this? In the Bronx, there was a fire. Unfortunately, a lot of buildings in New York City, this is my issue with New York, this is my issue with California. The buildings, the way they live is horrendous. It's horrid. You shouldn't live this way. They have people using space heaters because the buildings don't have a central heating and cooling unit. Why? Because of shit like rent control and cheap ass builders that are taking advantage of people that live there, because for years and years and years, each apartment has its own unit, AC unit. Each apartment, they'll get a fucking little heater and they'll put it in the corner. Bro, those heaters catch fire all the time. You put them in a corner somewhere to catch a curtain, whoosh, the whole house is on fire. Unfortunately, when you live in a building, many people get affected. 17 people lost their lives in the fire in the Bronx. Me, being born and raised in the Bronx, bro, I love New York City, but when things like this happen, it makes you really reevaluate what's going on with these buildings, yo. They should have sent, like, why can't you provide a full living experience for people to fucking live comfortably? It snows there. There should be a heating unit in the building that works properly for all the apartments, as well as a cooling unit. And not one that attaches to the walls, weird ass boilers and shit y'all plug in. Buy the goddamn systems already. Like, bro, I live in Vegas now. Are you crazy? Have you seen these casinos? These shit's got 900, thousands and thousands of rooms, hundreds and hundreds of rooms. They have heated, cooled. Some have fucking pools in the room. I don't want to hear it. Most of the fucking hotel rooms here have dual and tri-zone air conditioning. We were in a villa that had the whole front open thing. What the fuck you call those things? Them balcony things wide open, and that controlled the temperature. Like, that's a thing. You telling me buildings in New York City don't have enough revenue to install proper heating and cooling? It's terrible. Cardi B is gonna take care of the funeral arrangements for the 17 people that lost their lives. There's a lot of babies, man. Shit was sad. Mayor Adams, we're not in New York, but Mayor Adams said you got to close the door. So when you have a fire in a room, yes, the safest thing for you to do is to shut the door, because if you open the door, it allows the fire to escape. Shutting the door gives people more time to get out. Now, maybe he didn't explain that properly, but that's what you need to do in that situation, okay? When there's a fire in the kitchen, find baking soda, find flour, cover it, put a blanket over it. You'll get the fire out. Don't panic. You know, unfortunately, remember, I heard this saying that the generation, that 2 generations will forget the 3rd generation and they won't know basic things because we just take it for granted. Like, I say this shit all the time. Don't put aluminum in the microwave. It's not a thing. Don't do that weird ass shit. Like, kids just don't know these things. Learn how to properly season your cast iron fucking skillets. These are things that you should learn. Like, stop not asking for shit either. But when it comes to fire safety in an apartment, not panicking is a big deal. It's fucking sad, man. It's very, very sad. But I got it's a quick cool quote from BuzzFeed. Let me turn on the teleprompter. I don't even have the teleprompter on. My bad. The Bronx-born rapper will pay for the burials of all 17 victims who perished in the January 9th fire, which tore through an apartment building as a result of a faulty electrical heater. That's tough. That's tough. I think New York City should be ashamed of its living conditions. I think California should be ashamed of their living conditions. And honestly, any city that still builds in that fashion, stop. Like, I don't know. I really can't wrap my mind around it because it's not fair. It's not fair. You got people spending millions of fucking dollars for what, bro? We've become a renting society and we're paying so much absorbent money for rentals that we can't even buy our own properties and have ownership and leverage and be able to use the banking system properly. Like, having a fucking home loan opens the door to so many other loans that most people don't even get to enjoy. Using credit cards legitimately the proper way gives you so many perks that sometimes you don't even get to enjoy because you don't get to own a home. I know it's something. It really is something. But shout out to Cardi B. I hope she gets through all her court dealings in a timely fashion. But definitely, this is a big one for her, and we appreciate that. So the trucking industry is taking a big hit, and I've been talking about the trucking industry a lot because you see a lot of minorities are becoming truck owners. I know a lot of Cubans that have come from Cuba and started trucking companies here in the United States. I know a lot of Hispanics. I know a lot of blacks. I know a lot of whites. I know a lot of Asians that own trucking companies. It's pretty much one of those things that's universal, right? Things need to get across the country. You have to have logistics, truckers, truck drivers, materials, contracts. I mean, it's a whole ecosystem that right now is taking a huge hit. And the Truck Drivers Association is asking for help. They need more drivers. So the United States is actually passing laws right now that are allowing 18-year-olds to drive trucks. I don't have a problem with this. I think the younger that you teach them, the better. I've been able to drive a stick since I was a little boy. Why isn't everybody like even learning how to do these things? This should be common ground. Like, driving a truck, although it seems intimidating, it really isn't. And it's a great job. It's respectable. You get paid very fucking well. And if you have enough money to buy your own truck and you really want to change your life, go at it. This is definitely it. I know people that's their life for quite some time, and then they expand and they get away from driving and they just become, the leader of their company, and they have 3, 4, 5 trucks, and they're able to just grow the company and live off the residuals and, end up becoming just a logistical company. And all you got to do is just worry about routing. And that's the goal with every business. You start at the bottom and grow your way up. But with trucking, because the money is so big, it's a great industry to be in. The story comes from CNN. With the trucking industry facing a shortage of quality drivers, the U.S. government is setting up an apprenticeship program for young truckers. This is probably the best shit I've ever heard from the government, by the way. Just want to put that out there. It's yeah, this is probably the best shit that I've ever heard. This is, besides housing, this is probably the best. The new program will allow people as young as 18 years old to drive big trucks, big semi trucks interstate. I mean, it's an apprenticeship program, so do they have drivers with them? I don't know. The new program is coming online as the industry complains of driver shortages, which have gotten worse during the COVID pandemic. So the truck driving industry is one of those, it has to keep going. It's a cycle. It's a supply chain, right? It's the issue that we have with the boats right now sitting at the docks. We don't have enough trucks to get everything out. We don't have enough people to even drive. Nobody wants to work. COVID shut down so much shit. I could imagine if you're not double vaxxed and boosted, you can't get across certain state lines. So this is actually really, really interesting. I would implore everybody that has young boys and even young girls that want to get out there and learn something new, go for it. Why is it moving so much? The new program is coming online as the industry complains of a driver shortage would have gotten worse during the COVID pandemic. Last October, the head of the American Trucking Association said the industry needed about 80,000 more drivers. Safety advocates, however, are objecting to the program, saying that it puts potentially dangerous, inexperienced drivers at the control of some of the world's biggest vehicles. Yeah, we just had an incident in Colorado with a young Cuban kid that his brakes went out and he had an accident in which killed 4 people, and they sentenced him to 110 years in jail. We all came together, 4 million of us signed a petition, and we got that reduced to 10 years, 5 years. It should be reduced to nothing. Because now you're saying that you're just going to put kids behind the wheel. Well, you better train them right. And then you need to fucking check these laws in these other goddamn cities and these states because they're a little asinine. Okay? The idea that Colorado the fucking idea that anybody sat there and said, this is a great idea. Let's give this kid 110 years for an accident. It just shows me where the mentality of this country is. We have to appreciate state lines and understand that different states do different things. But as a blanket statement, I think laws should be blanketed. I don't think you should be able to give somebody 110 years for a car accident. Not at all. I think that's fucking insane. That shit is, and it was racist. Because if that was a white dude, we would have never heard shit. Thank God that everybody made a big kerfuffle about it and we stood behind them. But I don't think this is dangerous at all. I think that teaching Peterson, right? Was it Dr. Peterson? He said that children doing dangerous things in a controlled environment is a good thing. Hell yeah, put these kids to work. Teach them, bro. I worked construction. I worked in a laundromat. I sold dope. I fixed cars. I flipped pizzas. Like, don't be scared to work. Working is fun. And driving trucks is pretty dope, man. If you ain't never left your city, that's the perfect way to leave your city and get to know different shit. You're not just out and about looking for trouble. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, my grandfather used to always tell me, don't go out with no purpose. Don't ever just take a drive. That's where you get in trouble. Always have something to do. Imagine you've never left Vegas. Let's use Vegas. You're born and raised here. You ain't got no money. You don't really work a good job. You start truck driving. Your first gig is from here to California. Now, 2-3 days you driving all the way to fucking Long Beach, or you driving all the way up to the Bay, and you picking things up and bringing it back here to Vegas, bringing it to Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. Like, now you're traveling 4 and 5 states in a week. You see new people, you see new experiences, new things. I have a dream board. One of my things this year was that I want to live in another state for a month. This year, I want to start with a month. Then next year, I want to be 2 months out of my state. I don't want to be in this state. Eventually, I want to literally live 6 months everywhere else. I want like 2 months in a different state, 2 months in a different country, and rotate every year. Like, I don't want to be in the same place anymore all the time. Like, COVID has shown me that that's bullshit. Like, I want to go get a spot in Mexico and live there with my family for a month. I want to get a spot down in like Costa Rica, Brazil. I want to travel to these places. I want to go and live there, not vacation. I want to live there. I want to experience it. The world is too big and time is just moving way too fast and we're not enjoying things. Like, if my goals are too small, then I'm never going to reach for shit, right? this actually, it might open your eyes to some whole new shit. You might become a whole new person off of traveling. Like when I was a kid, we used to take the Greyhound bus. I miss that shit. If I could buy a Greyhound bus and just drive the country from here to New York, yeah, that'd be dope, yo. But I honestly want to live in different places. I want to meet different people, how people operate, why they operate. Like, I'm spoiled living in Vegas, and I'm having a hard time now that the shit ain't 24/7 anymore. And it makes me go, well, I got to look around. I got to see how people operate outside of entertainment. You know, that entertainment brain is a bitch. I laugh because it takes a lot for me to just watch and enjoy TV. It takes a lot for me to just watch and enjoy music. It takes a lot for me to like look around things and go, oh, this is a nice day. Hell no, bro. I look outside, the first thing I think of is business. That should be a big house. That house right there could be split up. Like my brain just does shit that leads me to always just work. I want to go live in North Carolina, chill. I want to go live in South Carolina, chill. I just want to see my family. Georgia, chill, but not visit, live. Like let's get a spot. Let's check out the location. Let's get to know the land, lay the land, and all that good shit. It's just, I think it's necessary. I really think. Sorry for ranting, but I do think that that's necessary. Okay, conspiracy theorist people. 5G's here. Y'all remember what 5G was doing? Excuse me, 5G was causing like cancer. It was causing COVID, and it was the end of the world because of 5G. Excuse me. You know how many people? My bad, I got gas. You know how many people hit me up about 5G when that shit first started? And they're like, oh my God, 5G is causing COVID. And then they said, hey, but 5G is only in like 13 places and COVID's all over the fucking world, you liar. Y'all remember that? Conspiracy theorists people are something else. Airplanes use radio waves and frequencies. It's a reason why they say turn your cell phone off. There's a reason why now they use Wi-Fi and we're able to connect to Wi-Fi and we can use our phones in the sky because the radio frequencies that they use for GPS can actually be distorted by cell phone frequencies and electrical devices. Like, this isn't something new. This is technology that we've actually had for a long time. 5G's been around for quite some time. It's just not mainstream and it's not widely used as a standard, but it's definitely been a thing. Like, I've had 5G connection for 6-7 years. Apple, if you bought anything Apple's run 5G forever, bro, since like 2013, probably even longer than that. But conspiracy theorists will tell you that 5G is some type of radio waves is going to turn us into fucking frog people or some shit and causes COVID, cancer, and all types of things that it doesn't. 5G is just another technology and it's just another radio wave that we don't see, we don't feel, and we don't talk about. Elon Musk said you could put 100 cell phones around your head and rub them on your head for days and you'll never catch cancer. The reason why they have to say that it may cause cancer, and the word is may, is because somebody had a cell phone, somebody got brain cancer. There really was no specific or obvious reason as to why or how they got brain cancer. So they were able to use the cell phone as an excuse. And now you have to say may cause cancer, may cause issues, may cause... But according to Elon, it don't cause shit, and that guy's smart as fuck. So if Elon is saying it's not a thing, it's not a thing. Story comes from Vice. They're using the 5G bunk. Hold on. The first part of the story is about the conspiracy theorists and how they're using what's going on in their favor because the airline industries are having a hard time with the 5G because they weren't paying attention, they weren't prepared, and the FCC is just dropping the ball. They're using... oh, fucking idiots. The 5G rollout has proved that the conspiracy theories about the technology was right, and they were right all along. Yes, the evil technology, y'all. Conspiracy theorists are using the aviation industry's concerns about the launch of 5G services near airports as proof that the wild claims about the technology is also true. I'm just going to keep going. Whether the claims of 5G is being used to spread COVID or the next-gen wireless technologies are part of a plot to control the human population or that switching to 5G will cause people to suddenly explode, conspiracy theorist communities around the globe are leveraging the real concerns airliners are raising about the technology, convincing their followers that the warnings about the 5G that they were giving us were true. So be careful. You're going to explode. That's what they say. You explode it. Conspiracy communities are exploiting anxieties and developing issues surrounding 5Gs as an opportunity to further promote baseless claims that attempt to link the deployment of the technology and other prominent world events like COVID-19 and the processes that they are serving to further push fear-mongering and alarmist narratives. I'm sorry, alarmist looked completely crazy when I was reading it. Alarmist narratives online. On Wednesday, okay. The conspiracy theorist folks are using the airliners' concern with this new technology to basically tell us that they were right. Go sit your asses down. Go be scared. They're not right. But the real concern is the gigahertz that are changing and why that concerns the airliners. In all reality, though, because this technology is already in full effect in other places in the world, the airliners are full of shit. They're just not prepared. They were supposed to do things to make sure their shit was calibrated right, and they haven't. And if you want me to get into all the nerd stuff, I would, but it's all about gigahertz and why they're switching the way they're switching. Airliners basically have like a small window between 4.2 and 4.5, and this service runs between, 3.5 and 4.1, 3.7 and 4.4. So if they collide, planes will have issues with their height, which is a huge deal. Now, planes use those radio waves to detect how high they are from the ground, and it's used for their landing. It's not a joke. It's very serious, but nonetheless, the airliners knew what was coming. This isn't new. This was 2 years ago. They'd already made these plans. They've actually calibrated 5G to stay underneath these waves so that they don't even cross, but there may be crossing. That may be a thing. So the concerns are real, and the airliners have postponed the unveiling, I guess, or the beginning of this whole 5G switchover, but it won't be permanent. It's only for a couple of weeks until they figure it out, but they have to figure it out. Even if it's just not putting 5G around airports until they figure out how to make sure that their waves don't cross. Nonetheless, your conspiracy is debunked. It has nothing to do with COVID. It has nothing to do with people blowing up or going crazy. It's not a thing. Friday, we're going to be talking about that John Cena TV show. I don't even know what it's called, but I've been watching it. That shit was hilarious. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Encanto or Encantado. I'm going to watch it and give my full opinion on it. I really don't have one. My daughter sings the songs. I think it's beautiful. It's cute as shit. I love Spanish cartoons. I love that my kids get to see that they're different. You know, it's as a Puerto Rican, we have so many conversations with our family because we come from a very diverse background, and there's white Puerto Ricans, black Puerto Ricans, there's blue-eyed Puerto Ricans, there's hazel-eyed Puerto Ricans, some got curly hair, some got straight hair, some don't got hair. We're just very different, and watching a cartoon that shows the diversity in Spanish people is actually, it's cute. I love it. I love it. I think it's dope. And with that, my name is Kasabian. Live in the moment. Don't live in the past. Be safe. Stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. Wine.